Welcome to Disturbing the Peace. I'm your host, John Amanchukwu, coming to you live from YRefi Studios. What happens when leadership, accountability, and biblical manhood all come under attack at the same time? Today, Marian Richardson joins me to discuss the growing movement to alert communities when ICE is nearby, the controversy surrounding New York City's mayor and the upcoming 9/11 memorial, and Tuskegee University's decision to ban bonnets and durags in the name of professionalism. Then Victor Marx discusses how he became Colorado's Republican nominee for governor before helping us expose the counterfeit masculinity promoted by Andrew Tate and what true biblical manhood really looks like. All here today on Disturbing the Peace.
From heaven, there's too much at stake to be quiet. Let's disturb the peace. Me and you, let's disturb the peace. With John Amanchukwu, disturb the peace.
And now on Disturbing the Peace, I want to bring on my good friend, Marian Richardson. Marian, how are you doing?
I'm fantastic, John. How are you?
Doing great. It's always a blessing to have you on Disturbing the Peace, and we're going to do that today. All right, there's so much going on, and you do a phenomenal job in weighing in on many of these cultural and or political events. But there are some issues with ICE raid alarm systems. I want to show you this video clip of you talking about this. Take a look at this.
Is it appropriate for elected officials to be warning people that ICE is in the area? Take a look at this.
Sarah Lewis, representing District 45, and I'm currently on Church Avenue and Kings Highway in my district, and I got a heads up from a constituent that there was ICE agents in the area. I counted about 15 black SUVs that had ICE agents in the SUVs with binoculars and surveillance tools surveilling the area looking for someone. So I just wanted everyone who lives in the East Flatbush area to be vigilant, stand clear of Kings Highway.
Now, let me preface this by saying I have absolutely nothing against Farrah Lewis herself. She's a lovely person. I've met her a few times. Genuinely, this is not about her, okay? The messaging in this video is what concerns me, because at this point, I feel like the Democrats in sanctuary cities, you guys are basically the lookout guys standing on the corner yelling hoo-hoo when the cops go by so that the drug dealers have time to get away. Like, do you realize that when you are alerting people that ICE is in the neighborhood, you're basically aiding and abetting, right? Like, you're helping the illegal person, you're helping the fugitive to get away from law enforcement. How is this okay? How is that okay, guys? Now, mind you, if the video said something like, hey, guys, ICE is in this neighborhood, so please don't go and protest them. Don't go get in their way. Don't try to impede on their investigation. Just go home and stay safe. I would be totally down for that messaging. I wish that the left was doing more of that, telling their people to not get in the way of ICE agents, right? But this video and videos like it that I've seen, it's really like, hey, we are a collective fighting against ICE, and we're going to warn you when ICE is in the neighborhood to come and pick someone up. And my concern is, guys, why are you helping the bad guys, right? Like, I'm not saying they're all bad people. I'm not suggesting that all illegal immigrants are bad people, but they have done the wrong thing.
All right,
they've done it.
It's amazing here, Marian, that you see this taking place. You know, elected officials in multiple states, a governor in New Jersey, a state senator in Arizona, members of Congress have all taken some version of this same action publicly, warning communities when ICE is nearby. This is some low-level, downgraded ghetto hood culture where, hey, the cops are coming. Look out, Day-Day. They're coming for you. You need to run. Literally. You need to scramble. I mean, what's going on here? Is this a legitimate use of public office or something else?
That's exactly what it feels like. It's very reminiscent of the guy that stands on the roof or on the corner and just hits people with a 5-0, 5-0,
Right.
so that everyone scatter, right? And I'm like, here's the thing. One, a lot of people have been mentioning in my comments, and I didn't even realize this, it's treason, right? Like, you're not supposed to, like, it is a high crime of the land. You are not supposed to be not only impeding in this is at this point a federal action, right? So they're going against the federal government by doing this, but they're also aiding and abetting illegal immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is totally different than someone that is, here and is being wrongfully prosecuted or something in that matter. This is not the case. These ICE agents are in these communities with specific names of people that they're looking for. And these people have committed crimes, usually on top of the crime of being in the country illegally. So for people to be warning them, it is insane to watch, John. And on top of it, we have to point out, who are you actually serving, right? Like, you're in a U.S. elected official, and you are making sure that non-legal residents who have snuck into the country, taken up residence in our country, are using our tax dollars to live, and I say this all the time, I love immigrants, nothing against immigrants. I think that every legal immigrant citizen of this country should sue the government at this point, should sue these. I'm not even joking. You should sue the local sanctuary city government, because they're using your taxes to support people that have skipped the line in front of your family members that are still trying to get here, right? So if this was any other avenue of crime, no one would be completely fine with us supporting the criminals. We would all say, yes, it's actually a good thing that the police are coming into the neighborhood to round up the people that are doing the wrong thing.
Should it be labeled as a crime? Should you be charged for this? Or is this just simply, protected speech? We can just tell when ICE is coming.
I really do think it should be a crime. I do, because it would be a crime in any other fashion, right? If SWAT was in the neighborhood to pick up someone that had been, let's say, it doesn't even have to be a violent criminal. It can be someone that was doing something like fraud, and just at a higher level. If SWAT was in the area and you tipped off the fraudster, you are now aiding and abetting. So this is a crime. That's what it is. And again, I want to say this because a few people that follow me also follow and know Farrah personally. I have nothing against Farrah Lewis, lovely person. My problem, again, is the idea that Democrat leaders, elected officials, people that have been voted in, hopefully by citizens, but that's another conversation to see if, the people that they're letting in are also voting, but we're not getting into that. But these are people that have been elected by their communities, and they are putting the needs of their community second, because they're putting the needs of people that have snuck into their community first. And that is really concerning to me. And I do think it should be considered a crime.
Yes, I agree with that. We're talking about the ICE alerts that are taking place around the country. And when we come back, we will talk about Mamdani. Folks, let's face it. If you have distressed or defaulted private student loans, nobody is coming to bail you out. And bankruptcy is not an option, but you can take charge of your situation by contacting YRefi. Can you imagine being debt-free and not living under this burden anymore? The first step is contacting YRefi. If you go to YRefi.com, you can read testimonials from other people who have been where you are and how they've escaped. You can even see what their monthly payments were versus what they are now. YRefi offers a 3-minute rate check without any credit impact. Bad credit is accepted. Just call 888-YRefi-85 or log on to YRefi.com. That's YREFY.com. All right, so Mamdani, let's move to him. I know you're in New York. He is your mayor, whether you claim him or not. He is your mayor. There are some people upset with him right now because of some statements that he made surrounding 9/11. And so 9/11 families pushed to ban Mamdani from Ground Zero ceremony. Take a look at this clip.
Families of 9/11 victims are trying to keep Mayor Zohran Mamdani away from this year's 25th anniversary ceremony at Ground Zero. The families are calling out this mayor over his controversial record and his ties to Islamic extremists, like the imam who testified on behalf of the World Trade Center bombers. He even defended a terrorist in a 2015 post, suggesting FBI surveillance is what pushed him towards al-Qaeda. It's part of a longer history of Mamdani downplaying 9/11 and making it about himself.
I want to use this moment to speak to the Muslims of New York City. I want to speak to the memory of my aunt. Who stopped taking the subway after September 11th because she did not feel safe in her hijab. Growing up in the shadow of 9/11, I have known what it means to live with an undercurrent of suspicion. I will always remember the disdain I faced, the way my name could immediately become Muhammad.
All right, so there you have
Tommy,
it.
your take?
Mamdani is a character. I mean, the guy needs to be saved. He needs to give up Allah, give up Muhammad, and come to Jesus.
Yes.
These families are drawing a hard line. They're saying enough is enough. They say Mamdani's presence at Ground Zero on the 25th anniversary would be an insult to the victims. Do you think that's fair, or is that being used as a political attack on this mayor?
I think it's more than fair. I think the same way that he found a reason to sit out of the Israeli Day Parade here, he should find a way to just sit home. Just go on and sit home. Because if the people of this community do not want you there because your rhetoric, not only in the past, let's be mindful, it's not very, very far distant past, right? We're talking about who Mamdani was right before he realized that being an elected official would mean that he has to tighten up what he's saying online and who he's walking around with. And even since then, he's still publicly supported multiple people that are terrorists, you know, not only enthusiasts, but apologists, right? Like we know where those people's allegiance lie. They do not hide it at all. So if you're going to be actively in cahoots, if you will, or at least in a comfortable place with people that have directly impacted the families that are going to be grieving on this day, you don't need to be there. That's it. And I think they're completely right. They're completely justified in saying, you know what, you might be our mayor, but this is our day, and we do not need you to be a part of this.
The 9/11 Memorial has traditionally welcomed officials from across the political spectrum. That has been constant for decades. Should that continue no matter who holds office, or are there certain associations that should disqualify someone from that ceremony specifically? Okay,
so the problem here is that it's going to be very difficult to talk about this without being honest about my personal feelings about the, push for Islam in this country. So I'm just going to be honest about it. I really hope that more Americans and more Christians especially wake up to what is happening and stand against it. It just is what it is. I do think that if we look at every other country where Islam has started to take root in the government, that country has never been the same. You can look at if you watch the spread of Islam, it starts with the government. It's very intentional. So in this instance, it's very intentional. It's very smart, but they use a government that says, well, no, we're very tolerant, right? We're very welcoming. We want everybody. And they slowly find a way to weasel in, if you will, and then push people out. In this instance, it's going to be uncomfortable, and there's going to be plenty of people saying this is, racist, which, by the way, Islam is not a race. So please stop saying that, guys. Like, it's a faith. It's not a race. You can't be racist if you aren't a fan of Islam. But there are going to be people that scream and say this is unfair. However, if you are directly tied to the cause of the suffering, at some point, you should acknowledge that was something that your base took part in, and it is very fair for people to not be comfortable with you there, right? For instance, I feel that it would be unlikely that if there was a Palestinian Day parade, they wouldn't necessarily have Netanyahu standing on the float, right? That's not likely to happen. And we wouldn't judge them for that because they're not comfortable with that relationship, with who that person is, what that person represents for their community. If we're realistic about what happened here in New York, and I'm old enough to remember 9/11, how horrible it was, and how we saw not only what was happening in this country, but we saw the videos of people cheering in other countries, excited that this had happened, that thousands of our parents, our loved ones had passed away in one day. I think it's very fair for us to say, you know what, as uncomfortable as it is, as unfortunate as it is, what you are associated with is a sore point for this particular space, and we're just not interested in housing you there.
Yes, I agree with that. So you're in New York. What is it like there? What are people saying about Mamdani? Have they nicknamed him in the same manner as another person that I brought on the show? He calls him Mom Dummy. And so
yeah.
Who is he? What are people saying about him in New York?
Listen, so it's a funny thing. I just sat down with a real estate professional, Humberto Lopes. He's fantastic. I firmly believe in his policies. He's not a politician yet, but he's pushing certain things to fight directly against the rental law changes that Mamdani is pushing in, right? What is happening in this city, and this is just the realities. There are a bunch of people that are here that are not natives to New York, okay, right? And that's New York. It's okay. It's a transient, place. It's always been that. That's fine. But a lot of individuals, especially, I got to say it, white liberals, especially young white liberals that come here for college, they come in and they hear socialism, give things to people that need it. Everything should be free. And they love that. They love it. And then you've got this guy, he's, moderately handsome. He likes to smile a lot. He's young and hip. They're eating it up. They love this guy. He's screaming about how he balanced the budget. He's screaming about how there's, crime is down. He's going to tax the rich, et cetera. He never explains that his balancing the budget is just borrowing $8 billion from Albany, which is going to raise the overall taxes, the New York state taxes for every single person, right? He doesn't need to tell them that. He just says, I balanced the budget. He says we're down in crime. And in the last 4 weeks or so, we've had record amounts of crime, record amounts of shootings, horrible events happening in our subways, right? So what's happening is this, John. You have a core group of people who are not from here, who are lovely and sweet and kind people who just want the nicest things possible for the world, who are deeply misled and who deeply support this man. And then you have us natives who are looking around and hearing his policies and are realizing, wait a minute, this is not working. He already tried to raise property taxes for everybody. He wants to put homeless shelters in already difficult neighborhoods, right? He wants to add, all of these, people don't understand this, so many fees onto driving. They lowered the speed limit down to like 15 miles an hour in certain areas. And exactly, wow. No one's talking about this. Wow. Yeah. And it's just to be able to
wait, 15 miles per hour where?
Near schools and in the surrounding areas. And then everything else, they lowered it down to 20 miles an hour. And when I went out to LA for the most recent time I was driving, their speed limit's like 40, 50 certain times. I was shocked. I was like, oh my gosh, people are allowed to actually drive in other states? Like, this is crazy. Here, they're looking for every opportunity to fine the residents, right? Because when we talk about socialism, when we look into the realities of what socialism means, it means that the money has to come from somewhere. And we're already seeing a mass exodus of millionaires and billionaires flooding out of the city, which I wish people would understand how bad that is. Because as a Black person, I have to say, no one thinks about who are our Black people going to work for. And I hope that people receive this in the right way. A lot of the Caribbean moms, the aunties, et cetera, that come here, they come and they work as home health aides or they work as nannies. Who can afford a home health aide or a nanny usually a more wealthy person.
True.
So you've got, this is just a fact. So I'm like, who's going to hire the nannies? Who's going to hire the personal trainers, right? Who's going to hire the personal chefs? Who's going to pay the big tips at the, STK steakhouses and all Capitol Grill and things of this nature? So not to ramble, but as you can feel, us native New Yorkers are stressed out. There's so many people. I think this must be the most protested mayor in the history of the city within his first year, because there's been multiple protests against him, against what he's trying to change. In fact, the woman, Farrah Lewis herself, liberal as she may be, held her own protests to try and avoid a homeless shelter coming into her district. So this guy is getting the worst mixed reviews probably ever. And I just hope that means that people are starting to wake up.
Yes, I hope they are. And I hope he gets voted out next election. Final topic of the day. I want to talk to you about Tuskegee University's ban on bonnets and durags on
Hallelujah.
campus. I mean, just this is amazing. So Tuskegee University President Dr. Mark A. Brown announced a new dress code and a message to parents of incoming students banning bonnets, durags, bedroom shoes, and revealing clothing in classrooms, dining halls, and official university events, including convocation. The policy also tightens attendance monitoring and bans cell phone use in class without instructor permission. Brown says that the goal is preparing students professionally for life after graduation. After you spend tens of thousands of dollars, you got to get a job, right? Not restricting, you're right, their college experience. Reaction is genuinely split. Some alumni and current students strongly support the policy as instilling professionalism. Others argue it polices black hair protective styles and reinforces narrow, non-black standards of what professionals should look like. All right, so Marian, who do you think is right? Do you think that Tuskegee is right to make this ban and make this changes, or all the people who want to walk around with bonnets and durags and house shoes and shirts where you see the baby powder and the boob print for the girls, all that good stuff in there? The thongs are coming out of the low cut, Daisy Dukes. I mean, who's right here?
My God, if I could find the person that wrote this new change and give them a hug, I truly would. When I say, and I'm not joking, John, as a mom to a young little girl, she's 10, watching what these kids are wearing is terrifying to me. One of the biggest videos of my page is me just showing what, someone went around interviewing girls who are 14 and 15 years old wearing these tiny, tiny clothes. What we normalize becomes the norm, right? So as we're watching these students get to college, they don't know any better at this point. That's just the truth. They're not even trying to be extremely revealing. They're not trying to walk around looking unkempt. They don't know any better because it has been normalized so much in our society. So I absolutely love this. As people say, the bigotry of low expectations, that's one of the worst things that we have accepted in the Black community, is this concept that this is just Black culture. Walking around with your bonnet on is just Black culture. No, it's not. It's sleepwear. You're supposed to wear it to keep your hair, and I have my bonnets and my scarves. I make sure my daughter puts hers on before bed, but you take it off before you leave the house.
No, you keep it on. You have to keep it on, Mary, and that is the problem. See, you're missing it. It's your hair is well done today. I mean, it's el natural, okay? But you're supposed to keep the bonnet on when you come on Disturbing the Peace. Next time you come on, I want to see the full blown bonnet. Don't show me that.
You will never let me express this to you in no uncertain terms. Unless it's part of a character that I am playing on television, you will never see me in a bonnet. The only people that are going to see me in a bonnet is my child and my eventual husband, because that's to me, that's underwear. Like, not even joking. That's sleepwear. It's underwear. It is meant for your bed.
Yes.
It is not meant to be walking around in. It never was. And also, let's be realistic about this. I'm not trying to get too deep, but this is something we need to talk about. Black people are late to everything. Okay? I'm going somewhere with this. Black people are late to everything. CPT, right? Colored people time. We need to push ourselves. Let's be for real. We need to push ourselves to be awake, to be presentable, and to be out the door on time. As we walk around, you mean to tell me that you're going to be late and you didn't even take the time to do your hair? And I'm supposed to just think this is just Black culture? I rebuke it in Jesus' name. This is not Black culture. That is laziness. That's it.
Oh, so it's late. So some of these ladies and guys, they don't want to do their hair. Are you saying that she's rolling out? Because let's say this, if you're wearing a bonnet, did you wash your rear end that morning? Did you brush?
Exactly.
Did you brush your teeth? Did you floss? Did you use mouthwash? Are you just rolling out of the bed and just going to work, going to the store, going to the gym? Tell me the truth here. Why are some women? You don't do it. And
I don't.
And that's very much so prudent of you to not do so. But why are these people doing this? And why are these men wearing do-rags into class? That's not the point.
It's unfortunately what has happened in the Black community is that hood culture has been infused with Black culture, with the general Black community, right? So we know that the do-rags, especially that originated in the hood as just a standard part of the dress. Right. Why? Because I'm not going to say the N-word. We are on a man of God's platform.
Ninjas.
Those ninjas don't have jobs, John.
Okay.
So they are used to wearing a do-rag outside because they have nowhere professional to go. They have nowhere professional to be. They don't have to pair a do-rag with a suit and tie, right? So when we're infusing that now into what is not hood culture, and I really wish people understood this. The Black community is no different than the white community. The white community acknowledges white trash as a subsector of the white community. We as the Black community should acknowledge hood, Black entities as a subsector, not the totality. Not the totality.
So it's like 5% of us, 10%.
Way more than 5. I'm gonna give it 15 to 20 minimum.
And so,
way more than 5.
What do we do to help the 5 to 15 to 20%? All right, of the greater. Let me say it this way: the 5 to 15 to 20% of our culture, that small fraction, okay, the small subset that oftentimes creates personas and stereotypes that diminishes the whole. How do we reach these people? Do we just need men to go tell the guys, man, you look stupid with the do-rag on, you look ghetto,
Absolutely.
You look homely?
Yes.
Do we need ladies to go tell the women, you are lazy? A man is not going to want to marry you because if you don't do your hair, he know you ain't cleaning your body properly, and you probably ain't bending over and cleaning between your toes. Because I'm telling you, if you can just wear a bonnet out into public to hide your glory, your hair.
Yeah.
All right. Are you washing your feet? Are you cleaning your toes?
That's such a valid point. And to answer your question really quickly, what we need to do, not everyone's going to be saved. I want to say that very bluntly and clearly.
Yeah.
We will never have a society where all Black people are on the upper end of society. That will never happen because we're never going to have a society where all people are one, right? Like no society is a monolith. Anywhere you go, even if they have the same exact race,
right?
Any country in Africa, all the Ghanaians are not the same type of Ghanaian, right? So let's accept that we will never have everyone in the Black community be an upstanding member of society. That'll never happen. However, I do firmly believe we can reach as many as possible by doing two things. One, we need to start rebuking songs like "Where's Them Scamming?"
Yeah.
We need to stop allowing those.
Right. Rebuke it.
First thing, rebuke it in Jesus' name. We need to stop glorifying whores. We need to stop glorifying gangsters and pimps and thugs. We need to stop glorifying that. And we've known this for quite some time. That's why so many of us have come back to the conservative. And I say back because the Democrat Party stole us and promised us a bunch of things that they never delivered. So we're coming back to conservative values and especially back to Christ. So the thing that really needs to happen is we need to start following Christ, right?
I love it.
That's if I could put one thing, I say this all the time, if I could do one thing to change the world, the most impact, it would be that people would start to follow Christ. Because if you're following Christ, you care about how you look in public. If you're following Christ, you honor modesty for women. If you're following Christ, you accept the fact that a man should represent not only his household well, but his God well. So if you're walking around and you're looking crazy, you're not representing your home, you're not representing your family, and you're not representing your God in a positive manner, right?
I agree with
Those
you.
are the things that need to change. And also, right now, I have to say this, we need to start checking these kids more. That's the main thing that's happening. It used to be a village. If your mom isn't raising you right, you can't go outside crazy anyway because somebody's going to check you. Aunties, the guy, whatever, someone's going to say, yo, what are you doing, young blood? Get it together. We're not checking these kids. People are afraid to talk to other people's kids. And people are yelling at you if you do talk to their kids. So we need more of that inter-community reprimanding and correcting so that we can actually help each other, because a lot of these parents just aren't doing their job.
I agree with you 100%. No more bonnets, no more durags, no more flip-flops. No,
in Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name. No more ICE alerts where you're alerting all of this stuff going on. And no more Zohran Mamdani. Marian,
we're calling him Mom Kami.
Oh, Mom Kami. I need to add that to the repertoire. I'll add that next time. Thank you so much for coming on Disturbing the Peace.
Always.
You're always a blessing. I'll follow up with you.
Thank you. Have a great day, John.
You too. Take care. God bless you. Joining me now is Victor Marx, U.S. Marine veteran, founder of a humanitarian nonprofit that served tens of thousands of women and children around the world. And now, the official Republican nominee for governor of Colorado, coming on the stage right now is the man, the myth, and the legend, my friend, my brother from another mother. He's bad. He'll hit you. He'll split you. He'll get you, but then he'll pray for you and he'll flex on you like, oh boy, Victor Marx.
Let's go. Oh my gosh. Now your viewers know why we're friends. We hang out. This is always a joy for me to come in and visit with you, brother. Thanks for having me on today.
Hey, likewise, my friend. I am elated to look across and see your face. Man, we have so much to get into. Let's start here.
Yeah.
Let's start here. Andrew Tate's arrest, has sent shockwaves around the country, even through the conservative movement. Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan were arrested by U.S. Marshals in Miami on July 19th, just a few days ago. Take a look at this video clip, and then I'll come back to you. So this is their arrest right here. This is Andrew. And Victor, I've never seen you in a blouse or a top like that or whatever you want to call it.
And you never will. And And you never
I never will. I'm sure. Hey, and vice versa. Now, you are a raging Cajun. You have class and style. You work well and you blend well with minorities, especially black people, and you have swagger. Victor, you have swag. One of the coolest white Cajuns I know. But my man, what's going on with Andrew Tate, and what are your thoughts about this whole scenario?
Well, let's start first with the arrest.
Okay.
You know, these are serious allegations,
Yes.
and I want to say everyone deserves due process. Regardless of how the legal case ends, this is my perspective. No young man should build his identity around dominance, or exploitation, or treating women as objects. Now, he's been a voice that young men have connected to on a large scale because he was the antithesis of passivity, weakness, and he came out just full throttle.
Right.
But people would ask me about him, and I go, well, some things he communicates well to reach
Yes.
a generation of men.
Yes.
That are fatherless. They want a brother or an uncle to kind of lead them.
Right.
But as you know, and as you said, I've spent decades reaching abused women, exploited children, and I've seen the devastation abuse leaves behind. So I would say this to the young men watching: real strength protects, and it doesn't prey on the vulnerable. And our culture desperately needs better examples of masculinity, of which you're one. I mean, it's so important. So the bigger issue isn't just one man; it's millions of young men they're being taught they're what it means to be a man by the wrong teachers. So that's where we're at in our country. And unfortunately, when you're in a bubble and you're lifted up on a platform and you make millions, you'll surround yourself with people who don't tell you the truth. And maybe that's what happened to him. But unless somebody's professing, in my opinion, a code of honor and ethics that respects women, and the influence that they have over others, of course, mine's going to be biblically based, because I think biblical manhood is what's real, not the counterfeit masculinity. So, yeah, 3 things: strength under control, sacrificial leadership, and protection instead of domination.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that, Victor. You're spot on. You said something that he built his brand, his image on dominance. Speak more about that, and how, yes, it's good for us to be protectors, but to build your whole persona on just blatant dominance, and dominance over men, and dominance in particular over women. Tell us why that is so despicable.
Well, I think our culture went through a phase again with the lack of masculinity, the lack of what I would say reasonable, healthy levels of testosterone in young men, of which I think it's all been intentional, where our culture started producing trans men, men that felt more comfortable dressing up as women because they didn't have to hold the standard of what a man is.
Wow.
And then you have someone like, Tate brothers come in and all of a sudden it's, here's what you need to do. And I think they just carried it to an extreme. So look, that I have team members and associate team members at the highest level. And I'm talking tier 1 fellas, law enforcement, FBI, tactical teams, you name it, that I've worked with, know and respect. And the baddest dudes, and smoke bad guys and rescue people on a level that will never hit the news. They're some of the most meek people I know.
Wow.
Intelligent. And when I say meek, I'm talking power under control.
Yes.
But they know when to flip the switch and turn it off. It's like my Malinois. They're sweet. Women can hug them, pet them, but when they flip a switch on a threat, and I think that's what it is that strength under control, not dominance, not bullying, and look, it's not just in that physical realm. We're talking money. I've seen these business gurus using this approach. You come in a room, they've misaligned what alpha should mean. It's a servant leader. It's not someone because look, there's always somebody better. And just because they're quiet or don't respond or react, it doesn't mean that, believe me, I've seen it. I'm going, holy smokes, this person has no idea who they're talking to regarding a friend or warrior friend of mine.
Indeed. You worked directly under Dr. James Dobson at Focus on the Family. How did that shape your own understanding of what a husband and father is actually called to be?
Well, I'll tell you, this may sound strange, but I really started learning the principle of gratitude under Doc.
Wow.
Thankful for everything you have. If you're living in a 1-bedroom studio, and just be grateful you got a roof over your head. If you're not able to go out and, eat fancy restaurants, be thankful for, the hamburger helper that you got with some meat. I came from a childhood where we didn't have much, and my mother worked very hard. But sitting under Dr. Dobson, I learned, he emphasized, look, children need love, security, discipline, and consistency. And we're in a day and age where fathers they aren't just providers. They have to be protectors, teachers, and encouragers. And the young lady on your program right before me, I love her heart and passion.
Yes.
About, man, we got to reach these young people. Mm-hmm. There's millions of fatherless and that's the basis of a society out of control. So I think family is the foundation for a healthy society. Leadership starts in the home.
Yes.
And I've learned the greatest legacy a father leaves, it isn't money or success. It's the character he builds into his children and what he actually lives. And you know what? That's on a personal level. I was just finishing a letter to my 5 children this morning. I've been working on it for weeks, and it's regarding my campaign, our life, what they've gone through. Yeah. And I mean, we haven't had a normal life, but they've come to appreciate it. My 12-year-old's, well, he's 21 now, but when he was 12, my son, he turned 12 in Iraq. I mean, and I never forget, he's like, Dad, worst birthday ever. And I'm like, I know. I let him hold a grenade, though. That's what he got for his birthday present. He didn't blow it off, but he got to hold it.
That's awesome. Let's transition to your campaign. You've built your career on going into broken, dangerous situations to protect the most vulnerable. You're a high-risk humanitarian. You're concerned about the welfare of the least of these. You have given your neck. You have walked into some of the most dangerous, darkest places for the betterment of someone else. I think that should be the focal point that people take away from who is Victor Marx and how will his leadership be conveyed when he becomes governor of Colorado. But however, talk more about your willingness to jump into this race. You just went through a nearly 3-week period where we were waiting to see the numbers because for some reason in Colorado, they can't count. But help us understand here where you're going, what's next, and how people can support you.
Well, thank you, brother. I have spent my life running toward crisis instead of away from it. whether reaching children who working with law enforcement or leading teams around the world, I've learned that leadership is about solving problems, not making excuses. So most, especially in Colorado, what I've seen in leadership are excuse makers. No one takes responsibility. And as a result, the people suffer. So my job as governor is to keep people safe, spend taxpayers' money wisely, make government work again, and then just serve everyone. That's my heart. And I was talking to some people. I was at a fair and I did a parade. Brother, I was in a parade a couple of days ago. And it was a blast. But, you know, hearing people's hearts and their struggles, it's so unaffordable here in Colorado. 76% of people polled by a large newspaper organization said they don't know if they're going to be able to stay in Colorado. 76%.
Wow. Wow.
Can you imagine if that was your state?
Wow.
We've had people exiting and leaving their businesses, but if I don't win and get in and change the direction of our state, it will be the largest mass exodus from any state next to Colorado. So here's what I stand on: affordability. I mean, I focus on putting money back into families' budgets. I'm going to reduce the unnecessary fees, cut burdensome regulations. Because look, out here in Colorado, we've overregulated everyone, businesses, corporations. It's ranchers, farmers, because fees out here become a new name for tax. But I'm going to make Colorado more affordable. I'm going to build homes, expand reliable energy, and support small business and agriculture. Now, I haven't announced this on any program yet, but I'm going to do it on yours.
All right, I'm ready. Drum roll. Hold up.
This is a first. People know that I'm calling for a government freeze of spending, and I'm going to audit every agency.
Wow.
And I'm going to find where the waste and the fraud is. But what we're doing is a Doge 2.0. And this is the special announcement. We've developed technology from some of the best companies, and we've started it already.
Wow.
Yeah, we have downloaded the budget, the bills. And what's incredible, we've gamified it to build a dashboard where people, we don't call taxpayers in this realm, we call them coders, will be able to go on and see any contract the state has signed of $10 million above, where the project is, what it's done. It's accountability that's lacking. That's where waste, fraud, contracts just renewed. People have no say on it. And when we do this, we're going to return the savings to the shareholders or taxpayers whenever possible and make life affordable again.
I love it. This is cutting edge. So with your Doge 2.0 and the technology that you have, will you be doing a full campaign rollout about this initiative anytime soon?
We are. And we're going to let a little bit out at a time, but then we're actually website, Victor2026.com, where people can come in, click on, and have a dashboard and start looking at what's live in real time. And what's wild, let's say there's a big highway project or bridge, and it's just going on and on. They can actually take a picture or video, upload it into our technology of our dashboard with their sentiment, and we have a real-time feedback from folks. This is the level of accountability that our whole nation needs. And I can tell you right now, this is proprietary technology that our teams have been out. Again, we're problem solvers, and accountability is one of the biggest problems. You find where the waste is? Because Colorado doesn't have a money problem, it has a spending problem. So Colorado works better when families keep more of what they have.
So Victor, there's some major education challenges, I'm sure, going on around the country, but even in Colorado. What do you plan on doing to make sure that we keep out things like gender theory and queer theory and critical race theory, all of the woke ideologies that has divided and confused a lot of children in Colorado?
Well, we just had a young lady on our, what we call Mission 151, which I've done about 150 missions overseas, but 151 is the one mission I'm on to win the state back and take it back. I want to say this before I give my perspective, because Aaron with Protect Children here in Colorado, I learned some things I didn't even know of.
Wow.
And people go, well, you're this religious Christian that shouldn't be governor. I go, no, my faith is who I am. And my responsibility as governor is to serve Colorado.
Yes.
All people. But I won't force my beliefs on anybody.
Right.
I don't do that anywhere.
Right.
And I'll always tell people where my values come from. But what's happened in Colorado has one of the worst. Just Google Jefferson County school system. They've had so many boys playing in girls' sports.
Yes.
They've had grooming. Teachers have been, I know one where was arrested for horrible sexual stuff. Listen, it's time for people to stand up, parents to engage and go, no way. And you led the charge on that. You taught America, go to your school boards.
That's right.
Get on your school boards, but challenge people. And I'll say this about public school teachers. I love them. Man, they are oftentimes overworked, underpaid.
Yes.
Have to deal with fear in their classrooms. There are no alternatives for certain kids that, the majority of kids they service. But the money is caught up in the bureaucracy, and it is not getting to the classroom. So as governor, what we plan on doing is returning to the parents. Let the parents decide how and what my child is going to be taught. And when there's that type of transparency, why not have a camera in a classroom? Why not have a dashboard to see what curriculum is being taught? Tended people tend to make things behind the curtain. And they just tell parents, I don't care if they're politicians or school administrators or curriculum, just don't look behind the school boards. We have this. No.
Right.
It's time for parents to stop being passive and engaged. So that's where I'm at, and people know it. I'm all for vouchers as well. I believe money should follow the kids, and it should be performance-based. So even if parents are homeschooling, well, we need performance-based results to make sure the kids, so it's not just because believe me, there's going to be abuse in every area, but charter schools, private schools, I want a kid in the hood to be able to go to a private school where he wants. He shouldn't be limited to his or her choices, and that's what has to happen here in Colorado.
Yes, and so education opportunity being a main focus in your campaign really says that you just don't want a cookie cutter model for education. We can't have a one size fits all concept. For the family that thinks they're going to benefit best from the public school system, you go there. For the family that wants to homeschool, that's their option. For the family that wants to go to a private school or even a charter school that has, a private board, but it's publicly funded, those options should be there. And the tax dollars should follow the child and not the school district. That's the focus there. I wish and I pray that many minorities, Black people and Hispanics, that they understand the centrality of that argument. When the money follows the child, the worldview of the parent can also be fused into education. If you want your child to go to a secular school, so be it. You choose that. That's your choice. But if you want your child to go to a Christian school, if you want your child to go to a school that's of another faith, that's your choice. Okay.
Absolutely.
You're going to govern everyone in Colorado. I get it. But we need Blacks in particular to understand that the way out of the projects, the way out of the hood is through education. You can be born on the wrong side of the track. God knows I was. Man, we rationed out milk, cereal. For Christmas, we received beautiful gifts that were wrapped, but in it was hand-me-down clothes that smelled like mothballs. Man, I've been through the struggle. But yeah,
the socks. I just always remember the socks.
That's right.
They don't fit, but this is what I got.
Come on.
Okay. Come on.
You know, crew socks are turned into ankle socks. I mean, you have to do what you have to do. But the way up is through education, and it's through the family. I'm appreciative, Victor, of what you're doing in this season. You jumped out into the deep end. You launched out into the deep, but you're not going alone. You have a beautiful bride that's standing beside you, who's going to make a wonderful first lady.
Amen.
Speak on that. Talk about your joy of that as well in these remaining 30 seconds.
It has been a tough journey, but it's something we're used to.
Yes.
Whether we deploy out to Iraq, Syria, me being in Haiti, Southeast Asia, the work that we do is difficult, but we're following the Lord.
Yes.
And what it has done is actually made our family tighter, closer. The compression of the challenge, and it's daily. And as my wife said, my beautiful bride, Eileen, she goes, honey, I don't think there's any other way that could bring us closer to the Lord, following and obeying him in this way. It's so difficult, but it is so fruitful. And I just appreciate those watching, man, to pray for us. Prayer is what's going to make the change. Go to our website, victor2026.com, and support us. $5 makes a difference in a campaign. But know this, the establishment here, the political establishment, including a lot of the Republican Party, still do not support me. The conservative media here in Colorado has come against me. Of course, the Dems do. That's their job. Of course, national news because people, they're aggravated. I pray for people. They call it an exorcism. I'm like, we call it prayer.
Right.
But they're twisting and attacking who I am. And everything you started the show with, that's what they're attacking. They're not attacking my policy. And you know what? We just cling, stay close to the Lord. We stay with integrity. I won the primary by never slinging mud once because I'm honoring God. We'll continue to do it, but we need people praying and supporting us to get it done.
How can people support you?
Best way is Victor2026.com. Follow us on social media, Victor Marx with an X. Just track with us. We're daily updating. Great things are happening, and it's more than an election. It's become a movement that is turning into an uprising, and we're excited to do this.
Victor, thank you so much. God bless you, my friend. We'll have you back on Disturbing the Peace. Take care. Well, you've heard it here, my friends. Victor Marx is on his way to the governor's mansion in Colorado. That's my prayer. That should be your prayer as well. We need leaders like him. He's not a politician. He's a high-risk humanitarian. He's a person who has given his life and his legacy towards supporting those who have been trapped in some of the most awful situations and conditions known to man. He's made 150 missions around the country. And mission 151 is winning the governor's mansion in Colorado. And I pray that the Lord allows him to do so. Thank you so much for tuning in today to Disturbing the Peace. Do me a big favor. Go to my YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Set your notifications so you know when I'm going live. Then go over to Apple Podcast and to Spotify and give me a 5-star review. Thank you so much for your support. Let me know below in the comment section. Am I right or am I wrong? Am I weak or am I strong? Thank you so much. I'm signing off from YREFY Studios. That's YREFY Studios. Take care.